guys, what's up? Samurai Bird here. I am going to show you how I fix a loose tsuba or handguard. Now I put this all back together. I had it fixed, but I put it all back together just to show how loose it was and how well this is going to work. Here, you can actually hear it if I can shut up for a second. You hear that? And you see, yeah, there's a lot of movement in there, even up and down, side to side. But we're going to fix all that today. Now, usually, first I would try just replacing the Mikuki pegs, because if you disassemble your sword a few times, usually, especially in these production swords, the pegs get wore out pretty quick. Sometimes tang holes aren't really lined up, and you may even need to file it a little bit, but that's kind of a bad idea if you don't know what you're doing, if you ain't never done it before, because if they're not messed up, then you don't want to do that, because you will mess it up. Because I've done it, I'm telling you. But okay, all that aside, first thing I try is replacing the pegs. Sometimes that works, most of the time it doesn't. Usually, now usually it's either the wood handle inside shrinking, or the fuchi's getting a little bit more smashed and settled. It's settling in, and parts are getting shrunk and use. And if you're, especially like me, use real hard targets and bamboo, you're putting a lot of force on that sword, and stuff's gonna rattle. You're gonna rattle it loose. Now these production swords, and almost all of them, unless they're custom made to fit every part like a puzzle, usually the tsubas are not on there especially tight. It's the force of the handle. When you put these pegs in here, that's keeping the pressure all that way. From here all the way to the baki, it's keeping that collar. It's keeping the pressure, and it's keeping that tight. Like I said, after some use, it usually loosens up and it settles. Now, once you fix that, then you're good, because it's not going to settle anymore. Once it does its thing, and you're good. Now, I have had blades that ended up settling so bad that I had to put another tsuba in there. That's not a real good idea, because you're going to mess up that alignment. You mess up that alignment just a little bit, your sword may fit together just fine, but your Mikuki peg is going to splinter, and it's just going to get worse every time you disassemble it. It's just not a good idea. You don't want to do that. So I came up with this. This is a theraband exercising band. And I got this when I was doing my physical therapy. You see, I've already cut step-sized little things out of it. And it's rubber. It's not latex, it's rubber. So it's tough. They use this to exercise with. I'm trying to stretch. And it's tough stuff. Oh, the Mikuki pegs, you can get them on Amazon. Just like this. They sell them for 2 or like 12 packs, I think. They're not very expensive, and they're well worth it, especially if you got, a few swords. But this stuff, it's on Amazon too, theraband. You get I think like a 10-foot sheet of it for, I don't know, $8 or something. I don't know, I forgot the price on it. It's not very expensive. It's really thin though. That's why I liked it. I wanted something that's thin. It's like construction paper thin. And I thought about using maybe a bicycle tire rubber, from an inflatable tire on the tire tube, and just cutting a tsuba size rubber grommet, if you will, a washer, if you will, and cut that out. But I decided to use this because it was a little bit thinner, and I could always put 2 if I need to, or 3 even. And it's rubber, so it'll smash. And I got this idea of Joe, Steel Forged and Fire, who changed his name. It's JS Bladecraft, I do believe now. And he was doing a review of a Skyjiro sword, and inside the Fuchi was a little, it was thicker than this. I don't know if it was like a foam rubber or rubber, what it was, but that's what gave me the idea for this. And I don't know why they put it in there. It was a Skyjiro, so it was already pretty snug, but that may have been why. So that's what gave me the idea for that. So thanks, Joe. Thanks, Skyjiro. And so let's I'm going to disassemble this. Like I said, I put this all back together like I had it. I mean, I don't think these are the original pegs, but they're very old. And it's, like I said, everything set on this tsuba is really loose. I'm going to place it right underneath the tsuba on the Suka, on the handle side of the tank. So I got my habake, I got one step of there. It's pretty snug. And my tsuba. Then I'm going to use this that I cut out of my theraband rubber. And I just cut a slit in it. I didn't cut it out to shape the blade. Because sometimes that will tuck under, it'll tuck up in that tsuba, up in there. You know what I mean? If it's where it's loose, and it'll just snug it even all the more. So, I mean, you can cut it out if you want. I've just gotten lazy on this one. But it worked just fine. Now, if I can that on there without ripping it. Try not to touch the tang too much. I got the equal tier blade guard on there, so I didn't want to have to put another coat on it. It's already on there. All right, so I got that on there. See if I can push that in there a little bit. Yeah. Okay, I'm not worried about it. It'll smash. All right, put the stuff back on. And Suka handle. Snug there. I don't know. Feels like it's catching on something. That's the sound I like to hear. Now, if I can get this lined up, that hole needs to be lined up really nice. That affects a lot. And as you can see, the old pegs, that one's yeah, they're a little, that one's not too bad. And you can see there's a chunk missing out right there. This one's all curved and bent and smashed and ugly. So I got new pegs. Got brand new ones, sized them out and everything. Like I said, get your Mikugis on Amazon, or your favorite Mikugi dealer. All right, so the holes look good to me from here. You can't really tell. Actually, they need to go up a little more. Seem to go in there pretty nice. This is the one I'm worried about. Well, that went in there real good. Okay, so cookie pins are in there. And I can barely spin it, but it's not moving up or down any. And it sure ain't making any noise. That's me hitting the blade with the arm of the couch. I sure don't hear it. I mean, the true test is to go out in the field all day and cut some bamboo and see if it loosens up. I mean, worst case scenario, I put another piece in there, and keep going until it snugs up. And like I said, watch your pegs. Make sure you're not splitting them. That can be a big problem in the end. Other than that, there you go. That's how I fixed my tsuba rattle. Thanks for watching. Later.